100% latest update. OneCoin start mining with Bitcoin gave profit $50 this week. OneCoin start mining with Bitcoin gave profit $50 this week. Miners are a glimmer of hope in a barren Bitcoin landscape this week ahead of a key Federal Reserve event in Jackson Hole. Bitcoin BTC starts a new week fresh from a new multi-week low amid a return of highly nervous sentiment. After dipping below $50 over the weekend, the largest cryptocurrency is consolidating around 10% lower than a week ago, and the fear across crypto markets is clearly visible, as some call for new lows and others warns of a difficult few months ahead. There's plenty for bulls to contend with on both long and short time frames. The United States Federal Reserve's annual Jackson Hole Symposium is due this week, while September's already due to form something of a showdown when it comes to inflation and associated macro price triggers. That could mean fresh volatility across risk assets both during and prior, something weary investors will no doubt not welcome after last week's escapades on BTC/USD. At the same time, miners are giving strong signals that the worst is over, with the hash rate starting to rebound from a rare capitulation phase. With that in mind, Cointelegraph takes a closer look at 5 market-moving topics pertinent to Bitcoin traders in the coming days and beyond. All eyes on Jackson Hole. The United States Federal Reserve is once again in the driving seat this week when it comes to potential macro price triggers for risk assets. Fresh from last week's Federal Open Markets Committee FOMC meeting, Fed officials, together with banking figures from around the world, will meet for the annual Jackson Hole Symposium on August 25-27. This year's gathering comes at a critical time for markets in the U.S. and further afield. Inflation under the Fed's jurisdiction appears to have begun cooling, while elsewhere, the opposite story remains true. The latest U.S. inflation data is still weeks away, but that might not stop Fed Chair Jerome Powell from giving strong hints as to how the Fed will react, as well as positioning expectations regarding future economic policy. With that in mind, volatility could easily pick up both before and during the event, making Jackson Hole a key item to watch on traders' radar. They are so focused on doing this partly just because they screwed up last year with the whole transitory thing, and they realize that the one thing they can do now is tighten policy, and that will slow inflation. Kevin Cummins, chief U.S. economist at NatWest Markets in Stamford, Connecticut, told Bloomberg. With that, it remains to be seen whether the market will shift to favor another 75 basis point funds rate hike in September or gravitate toward a lower 50-point raise. In a preview of its Jackson Hole comments circulating online, Bank of America said that it would continue to look for 50 rate hikes in September and November, plus an additional 25 rate hike in December. Rate hikes in themselves present headwinds for risk assets and, in turn, provide a challenge for Bitcoin and its bid to escape strong correlation to asset classes such as U.S. equities.